There comes a moment in life when everything feels off, when your old habits don't fit anymore. Your usual friends feel distant, and the world you once understood starts to feel like an illusion. This isn't confusion. It's the beginning of your spiritual awakening. The moment your higher consciousness starts to rise above the noise. Most people feel lost when it happens, not realizing it's a sign that their soul is finally waking up. You start to question reality, purpose, and the meaning of your own existence. You're not going crazy. You're waking up from a life you were only half living. But here's the mystery few talk about. Awakening doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds in phases. Some pass through them with awareness. Others get stuck for years without knowing why. Each phase breaks down the illusions you once lived by and replaces them with clarity, depth, and truth. But phase 3, that's the one most people never notice, and it's where many fall back asleep. In this video, we'll explore the 6 phases of soul awakening, from the first spark that shakes your reality to the final stage where you step into complete alignment with your higher self. Each phase is a shift in energy, awareness, and perception, and by the end, you'll not only understand what's happening to you, but also how to move forward with power and peace. Phase number 1, the awakening trigger. Every soul awakening begins with a shock, a sudden event that cracks your reality open. It might come as heartbreak, loss, failure, or even boredom that feels unbearable. Something happens that forces you to look deeper. This is the wake-up call, the universe shaking you from autopilot. You start noticing patterns you ignored for years. The things you once chased, approval, money, control, no longer feel satisfying. You feel an emptiness you can't explain. At first you think something's wrong with you. You might feel anxious, restless, or detached from the people you love. But what's really happening is that your energy frequency is shifting. Your consciousness is moving from survival mode to self-awareness. This is the start of the higher consciousness activation. It's painful because you're shedding old identities. You begin to see how much of your life was built on habit, fear, and imitation. The first phase isn't about finding peace. It's about breaking free from illusion. Most people run from this stage by distracting themselves. But the chosen ones, those meant to evolve, endure the discomfort and let the awakening pull them in. Once this phase begins, there's no going back. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unknow what you've realized. You've stepped into the path of truth, and your old life starts fading in the rearview mirror. Phase number 2, the descent, the dark night of the soul. Once your illusion breaks, your inner world collapses. This is the most misunderstood phase of spiritual awakening. Everything familiar begins to fall apart. Beliefs, relationships, identity, goals. It feels like losing everything you once thought was you. You question everything. Why am I here? What's the point? Who am I really? This is what many call the dark night of the soul. It's not depression, as it's dismantling. You're being stripped of what no longer serves your growth. Your energy begins to detox from everything false. Toxic people, fake success, and emotional dependency. Your consciousness is recalibrating. This phase is messy because you're between worlds. No longer asleep, but not yet awake. It's like the silence between two heartbeats. Uncomfortable, but necessary. If you resist, the pain grows. But if you surrender and observe, you start to see what's real beneath the noise. Most people quit here. They run back to their comfort zone. But those who stay, and the true seekers, begin to see the hidden order behind the chaos. You realize that every breakdown is a breakthrough in disguise. You're being reborn, but rebirth always feels like destruction before it feels like freedom. Phase number 3, the void, the phase few notice. This is the phase that almost everyone misses, the void. After the breakdown comes silence. Nothing feels exciting. You're not sad, not happy, and just empty. It's the phase between death and rebirth, and it's the most sacred part of awakening. But few recognize it because it looks like nothing is happening. You lose motivation. Friends drift away. Your old identity dissolves, but your new one hasn't formed yet. You're suspended in stillness, and that stillness feels uncomfortable. This is where most people think their awakening has failed. They think they're stuck. But in truth, the void is where your energy resets. Like the soil before a seed sprouts, your soul is reconfiguring itself. The void is a blank canvas where your higher consciousness is preparing your next chapter. This is when your old energy dies quietly, without fanfare. Your desires simplify. Your senses sharpen, and you begin to crave peace over noise. The reason this phase is invisible is that it demands patience, and patience is rare. People expect fireworks, not silence, but this silence is transformation in disguise. The chosen ones who endure the void without forcing progress emerge clearer, lighter, and unshakable. This is the true middle point, the bridge between the old self and the awakened one. Phase number 4, the expansion, rising energy frequency. After the void, your energy begins to rise again. You start noticing synchronicities, intuitive nudges, and meaningful coincidences. It's as if reality itself is communicating with you. Your perception widens, and you begin to see the unseen connections in everything. This is the expansion phase. Your inner vibration matches the frequency of growth. You attract people and opportunities that reflect your new awareness. You begin to live consciously, no longer reacting but responding. This phase feels like light after darkness. You might start exploring higher states of consciousness, mindfulness, or energy work, not from curiosity but from inner resonance. Your thoughts gain power. What you focus on manifests faster because your energy is aligned. You realize that your external world mirrors your internal one. Every emotion, belief, and thought sends a signal into the field, and reality echoes it back. This is where clarity returns. You rediscover creativity, purpose, and direction, but now it's guided by intuition, not fear. Your boundaries become stronger, and your energy feels sacred. You understand now that everything is energy, and your role is to keep it pure, elevated, and intentional. This is when life starts flowing with less resistance. You stop chasing and start attracting. You begin to live in alignment with your highest vibration, the frequency of authenticity. Phase number 5, the embodiment, living as awareness. Awakening isn't just about understanding higher truths, it's about embodying them. In this phase, knowledge turns into wisdom. You stop preaching about consciousness and start being it. There's a calm strength in you, quiet but magnetic. You start living with deep awareness of the present moment. Every action feels intentional. You no longer react to chaos because your inner world is stable. The noise of the world still exists, but it no longer controls you. You begin to act from clarity, not emotion. This phase transforms how you see people. You no longer judge those who are asleep. You understand their pain. You stop trying to wake them up and instead live as an example. Your presence itself becomes a teacher. You speak less, but your silence speaks more. This embodiment makes your energy powerful. People can feel it before you even speak. You move differently and slower, more deliberate, more aligned. You've stopped seeking because you've realized that what you were looking for was always inside you. In this phase, your purpose becomes clear. Not a career, not a label, but a way of being that uplifts everything you touch. Phase number 6, the integration, mastery of consciousness. The final phase is not about reaching a peak, it's about becoming whole. You integrate all parts of yourself, the shadow, the light, the lessons, and the losses. You no longer resist what is. You realize that awakening was never about escaping the world, but about seeing it clearly. You start moving through life with effortlessness. Challenges still appear, but you meet them with grace. You see every experience as energy, something to observe, not absorb. This is mastery of consciousness. You're grounded but expanded, humble yet aware of your power. You can feel others' pain without being consumed by it. You walk with compassion but stay rooted in truth. You've outgrown drama and seek depth instead of attention. In this phase, you live in harmony with the natural flow of existence. There's no separation between your spiritual life and your human life. They merge. You live in the world but not ruled by it. You've transcended survival and entered flow. This is where true freedom begins. Not the freedom to escape, but the freedom to be. Few reach this level because it requires full surrender, the courage to let life unfold without fear. Those who do, however, become the light others unconsciously search for. 13. The soul awakening journey is not a race, it's a remembering. Every phase, from the chaos of the trigger to the calm of integration, is sculpting you into your most authentic form. Most people never make it past phase 3 because they mistake stillness for failure. But if you recognize that silence as rebirth, your awakening continues. Each phase builds on the last. Pain turns to clarity, clarity turns to peace, and peace turns into power. By understanding these stages, You stop resisting change and start cooperating with it. You realize you were never lost, only evolving. So if this connected with you, thank you for watching until the end. Remember, awareness isn't something you reach, it's something you return to. And every phase brings you closer to who you've always been beneath the noise. If this message resonated, like this video, subscribe for more content on spiritual awakening, energy mastery, and higher consciousness. Your journey isn't random, it's perfectly timed. You were meant to see this today.